Charlie Parker. But it was so disastrous. This is the lead of the Globe story. Tens of thousands of newly eligible Massachusetts residents eager to use the state's VaxFinder tool to book COVID-19 shots today encountered a maelstrom of website crashes, system errors, and notices telling them there were thousands of available appointments they were unable to get. The vax insanity, as infuriated vaccine hunters called it, dashed the hopes of residents aged 65 to 74 and those with 2 or more chronic health conditions of being inoculated soon against a relentless coronavirus, right? That has forced millions into virtual isolation for much of the year. So they're using Charlie Parker's own hysteria to promote a different kind of hysteria. But Charlie Parker promised them everything, promised you just yesterday, everything was going to be hunky-dory today. Joining us on the line is Republican political consultant Holly Robichaud. She's got a column up on our website about this fiasco, and it's the second thing on the homepage after the picture of the octopus. And believe it or not, they put a picture of the octopus on the broken down website. It's rather appropriate, but it must be quite infuriating if you're desperate to get a shot and you see an octopus with a question mark. Holly Robichaud, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Howie. I don't know if people know or if they're not on Charlie Baker's email list, but the night before, last night, he put out this lovely email telling us how great he's doing, that Massachusetts is now number 9 in the United States for first vaccinations administered per capita. I mean, we're also number 1 for total shots administered per capita this week among 24 states with 5 million people or more. I mean, he's really desperate.
Lies, damn lies, and statistics, as has been said. It's just like, for months, Holly, he was promoting, we're conducting more tests than anybody else in the world. Like tests mean anything,
Right. Okay. I know. And then they have the data that shows that restaurants aren't a spreader event, and yet we shut them down. We can't, we got to shut them down to 25%, and now they're at a whopping 40%. Yeah, that's just wonderful. This guy is out of control. As we discussed, my parents have been trying to get the vaccine, and they're down on the Cape. And first they listened to that Democratic town hall call, and they said at the end, punch in your number, and we'll get right back to you on how to get a vaccine. Still waiting on that. Then they call and they take down all the information. They said, okay, you're on our callback list. Still hasn't happened. And yet the governor says, oh, okay, so everybody over the age of 65 now can get it. I mean, what? Right. I mean, the people that are at 75 and older can't get it. So now you're increasing the number of people that can't get it.
And also don't forget, anyone over the age of 16 who has 2 comorbidities. So what that means is everybody who's desperate to get it, who's been driven insane by Charlie Parker's daily panic porn, is going to claim they have 2 morbidities. Right. And he doesn't think this is going to be a scam. And he set this thing up where if you needed a younger person to take you to get the test, you could, the younger person who took the 75-year-old to get the test could also get a shot. And then he ended that program after about 48 hours because he thought it was being a scam. What did he think was going to happen? Does he not know anything about human nature?
Obviously not about human nature, doesn't know anything about how to run a website either. I mean, that this website crashes. What do you think was going to happen once he doubled the numbers? And Howie, he's doing this at a time where he says he doesn't have enough vaccines. And he's blaming the federal government. He's not saying Orange Man bad anymore. Now it's Joe Biden's bad. But if you don't have the vaccines, why would then you increase the number of people that can get appointments? That makes absolutely no sense. What did he want? Chaos, or just to disappoint people across the board?
He likes
being dethroned as the most popular governor.
Here's Monica Baral. I guess she's from the DPH on the website crash today. Cut 36.
First of all, I want to say that I understand the frustration related to this, and I appreciate it, and I'm deeply sorry for that. I don't have the specifics of the technical issues related to IT, but people are working as quickly as possible, and I'm hoping it'll be by later this morning that we'll have that fixed. When you go to the website, sometimes you're able to get on, so I urge people to continue to keep trying.
Yeah, because people got nothing else to do all day long, every day, than to go to the website, and then they're told, give us your number and we'll call you back. And as far as I could tell, no one has gotten a call back. Have you heard of anyone getting a call back?
No, my parents have been on the callback list for a while, and they haven't gotten a call back. And they're not very mobile, so they're sitting by the phone hoping Baker's going to call, but there's been no call. And as I told you earlier, the other thing is where we are having success. For example, in the city of Taunton, where they got a number of vaccines and they've been able to orderly pass them out. They haven't had any problems. They've been doing it for the last couple of weekends. And then they got notice, sorry, you aren't getting any more vaccines there. So where it is working, we're stopping that. Where it's not working, hey, we're going to double the amount of people that we disappoint. I mean, this is crazy with what the governor's doing.
And again, he just more than doubled the number of people that are eligible for the vaccine. And but yet there are no vaccines. And listen to this, cut 34.
We're currently talking to the National Guard about, and they will do this, about going down to Kentucky and Tennessee, which is where this stuff is currently located, and bringing it back. And what we just need to do is make sure that the federal government's going to let the National Guard do this for us.
This stuff.
But didn't he criticize Trump for suggesting that the military could do this?
Yes.
As I recall?
Yes, he did. It's...
do I hear an apology for President Trump?
Mm-hmm.
Do I? Come on, Charlie.
And he's perennially disappointed.
Sorry.
As you know, Holly Robichaud, the guy, he was always disappointed with the president of the United States. Now he has a new disappointment, and the disappointment is the weather. The weather. Cut 33.
I do think the weather, which, Jim mentioned, there's going to be a snowstorm. We may have some real issues with supply delivery this week. And we had been told that it would be a few days late based on some of the issues around weather in other parts of the country. But we got told last night that we might see a significant delay in our next shipments. And you'll probably see news later this morning about us and other states sort of trying to take this one into our own hands.
Yeah, it's all the weather fault. I believe I ordered something from Amazon. I believe I'm going to get it tomorrow. Unfortunately, Charlie Baker can't seem to get any deliveries. But it's still, again, if he knew that there was going to be a problem, weather or whatever, and he said on Wednesday that he was blaming the federal government for the lack of vaccines, then why would you go out and say, hey, we're going to let more people sign up to crash our system and not get vaccines? It makes no sense. He hasn't serviced the people that need the vaccines, the most vulnerable first. And he goes out and increases it. And then you get down on the Cape, as you've been talking all day, they don't have a mass vaccination site. What's up with that? They have the highest population of seniors. Why are they, what, they want them to go to Gillette Stadium?
Or Dartmouth.
And sit there and yeah. So, he's just not getting the job done at all. And I can understand why, as I sent you that email that Baker put out, I can understand why Karen Polito didn't sign her name at the bottom of that thing. It's probably the only smart thing she's done the past year.
Yeah, by mid-afternoon Thursday today, when many thousands who began refreshing their browsers in the early hours before 8 a.m., when state officials promised to post 70,000 new vaccine appointments on the website, had given up at least temporarily. Taylor, can you play the cut from yesterday from Charlie Parker saying that people don't have to stay up all night to get on the website? It's rather ironic when you think about what's happened this morning. This was Charlie Parker yesterday.
It's important to note here that new appointments will appear on the website starting tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. There's no reason to stay up all night.
I guess not. That's putting it
no reason
mildly.
to stay up all night. No reason to get up at 8 a.m. No reason to hit refresh. No reason to call the number. I mean, if you don't have the vaccines, you're really not going to be able to give them out. What are you going to do? Have everybody then getting calls and saying, "Oh, sorry, we don't have the vaccine, so you can't keep your appointment." I mean, this is just. I mean, talk about a complete mismanagement, and I just don't get why that. I mean, he's supposed to be a smart guy, and right now I think he's about the dumbest guy in the state of Massachusetts.
Trump had Operation Warp Speed. Charlie Parker has Operation Warped. Here's another. That's it from 207. Here's another 207. They're laughing at us in Maine, Holly. Hey, Charlie, ever hear of the 7 Ps? Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I guess he didn't learn that at Northwestern University when he was picking up his MBA.
No, and I guess he was never a Boy Scout. Be prepared. I mean, on the other hand, you got Ron DeSantis. People are flying down to Florida to get the vaccine because they have it available down there, as you know. I mean, talk about it. And they've got a lot more people, a lot more seniors. They're able to get it done. I don't understand. I mean, and that's a much bigger state.
I know,
physically
more than 3 times the population, and much larger than that geographically. And I don't want to rub it in, but I got an email from my doctor down here, and he said, "Do you want to? Anybody who wants to come in can just make an appointment and come in. Walk in the door anytime you want and get it." And I did. That's what I did. I got both shots. There's no need for this level of incompetence, especially from a guy who's bragging about what a great job he's doing.
I know that he sent out a bragging email at a time when it's completely failing. I mean, Howie, what a common sense. Let's contact the doctors and see how many vaccines they need, and let's give it to the doctors to pass out versus everything else that he's doing. I mean, I understand that you have to wait 15 minutes after you get your shot to see if there's any reaction to it. Well, doctors have a waiting room, and that's why you can't do it at a Walgreens or a CVS. But a doctor's has a waiting room. So wouldn't it make sense to pass it out to the doctors? And don't the doctors have the counts on the age of their patients? I
know. Holly Robichaud, your column is great. It's on our website. It's, the octopus is right at the top of the page. Hit the next button, then you'll go to Holly's column. And check out the octopus, and then check out Holly's column about what a disaster this whole thing has been. And we're going to talk about it when we come back. 844-500-4242. If you had a problem today, we want to hear about it. If you've had success too, we want to get both sides of the story. 844-500-4242. Thank you, Holly Robichaud. Great news. The Gen 40 heater is back, and just in time for the really cold temperatures. Oil prices are going to go up. They are already going up. The Keystone XL pipeline has been stopped. 35 million gallons of oil a day are now going to Red China. Now there's a new moratorium on fracking on federal land. That's going to jack up the price of natural gas. It's been 10 degrees all over New England for, it seems like, weeks now. Snow everywhere, more snow tonight and tomorrow. You need to start planning, and that means you need the Gen 40 heater. Like I've got it in my left hand right now. It's light and easy to use. The Gen 40, says Robert from the Cape, performs like no other heater I've ever used. It is remarkable. Taylor knows this, right, Taylor?
I use it. My father has used one for many years, and we both love it. It's quiet enough. I can keep it in the baby's room at night. It's not going to wake him. It's effective, easy to use. It checks off every box for everything you want in a portable heater.
The Eden Pure Gen 40 makes you feel warmer than your furnace, and it also costs less to run. You may be working from home now, and you will need to pay close attention to the heating bills. The Eden Pure Gen 40 will pay for itself in a matter of weeks. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word Howie Deal to get $50 off the sale price. That's EdenPure.com and use code word Howie Deal for an extra $50 off. These heaters are in high demand, so go right now to EdenPure.com.